Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today is March 11th, 2024, and I was watching a show about Asperger's this morning because I've been following along on these new adult autistics and wondering why. What is the benefit of them self-diagnosing or even going to a psychiatrist and getting diagnosed with autism? They have families, they work jobs, they drive cars. That is not back in the 1990s. When they put the Americans with Disabilities Act, it wasn't for people that can work and drive cars and raise a family and not have, need extremely a lot of help to do those things. So I really do feel like it's taking from the special needs. And I'm like, why? Why would they be wanting to do this? It's the doctors pushing it. Without doctors pushing it, it wouldn't be happening. Just like the trans kids have rights. These are the adult autistics have rights. And this new ableist and autistic, they got new words for everything these days. Well, I got to thinking, the reason why they don't want to use Asperger's is because it was in the Nazi and Germany and, that was all horrible. So they just renamed what I would consider autism, like Carly Fleshman or Fathering Autism Channel. That's back in the 90s. When the Americans with Disabilities Act was put forward, it was for people in those circumstances, not to diagnose adult autistics so that they can get, special rights, or is it just so they have more of their little ammunition for their communist takeover? They have the same talking points. And I think that they took autism instead of Asperger's, so that I think that these adult autistics are also in with the Free Palestine. And while I feel terrible for the for the Palestinian people, Hamas has got to be, under control. I don't know. That's there. I'm here. I don't want America turning out like Palestine or, many other places in the world, third world countries. We kind of look like it already with all the homeless on the streets. So that's what I'm trying to prevent. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. But I want my future generations to know how I feel about this, because this is going to be a big black mark in history. Just like the Phoenicians and their Moloch, sacrificing their children to Moloch. And so I feel like if all these really smart adult autistic people that are, doing all these wonderful videos, they're brainwashing, they're using them to brainwash the next generation to think that there's something wrong with them, then there's not. This masking is really getting annoying to me too. Everybody masks. Nobody can go out and just act like a wild lunatic in public. That's why they had institutions. Look at our streets. What do you think people were going to do back in the 1900s with people that couldn't take care of themselves? They put them in a place. And I do know that when they started those, it was a group of mothers in California that had disabled children. And they wanted a nice place for their children to go. So they opened up these farms. And so the people with disabilities would go there and they would have their job on the farm. They would raise their food. So it started out like that. And then, I guess the alcoholics and the druggies, they're like, well, what are we going to do with these people? Just like now, what are we going to do with them? Back then, they put them in the institution, the disabled people don't mind because they're always they're always, they don't care about that stuff. If you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. And so they don't see things like alcoholism or drug abuse, unless, they're getting abused. And even then, they don't realize. That's why I worry about these people in the streets, because I think a lot of them are mentally ill. So they had to steal autistic and give it to people that generally would be Asperger's, because the Asperger's people can't use the Asperger name because it was created in Germany. And my newest thought on China. And they're, only one child for the last 40 years or however it's been. I'm hearing more, I'm hearing about all these young men coming to America from China. Well, duh, there's no women there. The people that had been given birth for the last 40 years gave them up to adoption in America. So they have way too many men, not enough women, and the girls that were born are here in America, maybe in England and Germany too. I have no idea. I just know that where I worked a long, long time ago, the lady there had adopted a little girl from China, and that was why. And so now they have all these men. Well, what do young men like to do? They like to fight, and they like to... And if they're not, they're going to want to fight. They got to have something to do with that testosterone. Why aren't they pushing all this gender-affirming care on their children in their country? Because they want our country weak for all of these takeovers. The Muslims over there in, I don't know if it was St. Louis or Missouri, Michigan, I did another video about it. They protested, and they don't have to have their kids go to gender-affirming class at school. We're going to be in... What are they going to split up the United States? Half Islam, half Chinese, like on the movie, The Man from the High Castle? Gotta go. Out of time. Bye. See you next time.